Everyone, this is Schrader. This is going to be my first Logic Pro tutorial, obviously on Mac. Uh, First off, I want to apologize for the horrible fucking cropping on this. Ideally, you wouldn't be able to see my taskbar, and there wouldn't be these black bars, but that's just what I've got to deal with here on Mac OS. If anyone knows how to fix that, please let me know, but honestly, I think this works. Anyways, this is going to be a Chord Plucks tutorial in Logic Pro. This is only for Logic Pro because we're using its built-in plugins. Fucking dog interrupting the recording. So we're going to make old school style Chord Plucks. We're going to do a couple of examples. So the first thing we need to do is get rid of all the shit that we don't need to see, and then put on ES2. That's not what I meant to do. I haven't used my big display in a few days, or actually a couple weeks. Anyways, bro. Okay, maybe I've already fucked up one here. There we go. So we need to open up an instance of ES2. This is the plugin that we're gonna. This is the synth that we're gonna use to make the Chord Plucks. And as you can see, it looks really nice. So the first thing that we need to do is be able to hear. You can use musical typing, but I don't think that musical typing is a really good way of telling what the chords will sound like. If the one thing, the one exception I would make is that if you're using a MIDI keyboard and you're playing chords on that, then that'll work. And we obviously need to change all of our snaps. Okay, so let's throw down some chords. And I've still got their default buses on. It's because I like the reverb that is on them. When you go to make a full track, you're going to remove the default buses and put your own effects on. So I'm just making some quick progression. Oops. Okay, so now we've got a simple progression, so let's start making the pluck. So we've got an initialized preset of ES2 up here. Now, as with my other Plucks tutorial that I did back when I was using FL Studio, There are no rules. So seriously, just you can use as many oscillators as you want. There's 3 oscillators in ES2. You can change the mix however you want. You can use as much detune as you want. I didn't mean to do that. Bro. But I don't like using much detuning in ES2. Not because it doesn't sound good, but because you don't really need detuning to make a really good pluck in ES2. So you want to just have a cutoff envelope on this, and we can just lower this because it's up high by default, and then bring the decay up. So that's already starting to sound more like a pluck. You can. This is the main envelope. I can't remember what those are called. I've been away from producing for too long. You can bring this up as much as you want. And then the next thing you do is bring down the cutoff, and then you're going to bring this little green arrow up, which will actually put your modulation envelope, which is envelope 3, into effect. Adding drive, I think, adds some compression. I don't know what it does exactly, but it makes it sound really good. So another thing you can do, that's a basic pluck, and that can sound really good in some tracks. That's this type of pluck that we have here has been used in lots and lots of old style tracks. But the more classic sounding pluck will come from this blend filter. So you've got 2 filters in ES2. By default, you're only using the first one. So we have cutoff 1 here, but if you want to use both of them, which can make the best sounding chord plucks, you can go over here to make this cutoff 1 and 2, which doesn't immediately change anything. It only changes something whenever we start moving this blend knob. So the more this little knob is to the right, the more of envelope 2 you're using. And the more it is to the left, the more of the first envelope you're using. So left is the left envelope, right is the right envelope. And it sounds really good right in the middle. But let me show you what it sounds like in the middle, or like whenever you're working on it. So that doesn't sound too impressive just yet, but as soon as we start messing with the cutoff on both filters, we can get a really nice sounding pluck. Also, the FM knob can add a nice sound to the pluck. I don't usually use it, but it can make it sound really nice. And then the resonance does the same thing on both sides, but I usually do it on the second envelope. Or the right one, which it sounds really good in some sounds. But anyways, let's just mess around with this for a little bit longer. That sounds pretty good. So another thing that we can do that's also a Logic Pro only thing is Logic has, in what is, in my own personal opinion, the best delay plugin that there is out of any DAW or any sort of third-party plugin. But anyways, that's the stereo delay. So you can go to delay and then do stereo delay, and you always do stereo. And you'll notice that it sounds good right away just with the initial preset. You can mess around with having both of these on 1/8. If you have both of them on 1/8, it'll make it sound kind of mono. So you, at that point, you just turn ping pong on by adding some crossfeed. I still don't like how that sounds really. So I usually do like a 1/8 note delay on one side, and then either a 1/4 or a 1/4 dotted. 1/8 and 1/4 dotted are my favorite combos though. Turn this down a bit and add in another delay. So it's kind of dangerous to do two delays at the same time, and it can kind of ruin your mix if you don't exactly know what you're aiming for. So if you're going to use two delays like this, just make sure that the output on the first one isn't too high up, because this delay right here, the second one, is applying delay to the delay that's coming from the first one. So just make sure that there's not too much delay coming from the first one, and we need to turn the feedback down actually, because that it'll just fucking ruin the mix. But nonetheless, it's still a nice sound that you can add. Right, so check out what this sounds like with a drum loop. And I'm not going to bother adding side chaining because this isn't a full production video. So yeah, that's a pluck tutorial, or a chord pluck tutorial for Logic Pro. Let me know what you guys think. I know that a lot of you guys that are watching this are probably not going to be Logic users, just because I haven't built my channel around Logic. So on that note, let me know what kind of tutorials you guys want in general. Because I'm not going to do only Logic tutorials from now on, because I've always been centered around doing things that everyone can do. I just wanted to make this tutorial as an exception. So you can contact me on my Discord. I don't reply to my Facebook mails too often because there's a lot of creepy people messaging my Facebook page. My Discord is the best way to contact me, though. I'll give you live feedback, and you can get tips from other producers on my Discord. So join that, and if you liked this video, maybe consider giving me a subscription. Thanks, guys. Bye bye.